fire broke out in Ruifang, New Taipei City. Tzu Chi volunteers help with the post-fire cleanup. Ecuador carried out another COVID aid distribution while spreading the message of love and support. Welcome to That Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. In Ruifang District, New Taipei City, a fire broke out at 2 a.m., taking the life of a homeowner. The family survived but mourns for their loss. On the next day, volunteers from Linquan Chansi worked with Keelong Tzu Chi volunteers to clean up the house.
The second floor of the house was burnt as the 69-year-old stroke-affected husband couldn't escape on time. Although witnessing her husband's passing, Ms. Strong expresses care to her neighbors.
The Tzu Chi brothers and sisters were nice to me. I'm also grateful to the firefighters. Without them, the neighbors will be affected by the fire.
When a family is in tough conditions, the community comes in to help. After the fire, many arrived to evaluate the situation while setting up cleaning duties.
We first talked to the borough chief, who then called the EPD to send a recycling truck here. As for us, we contribute the manpower.
Linquan Chan Temple has many volunteers that are also volunteers at our care center in Jianboro. And within the center, we have Tzu Chi sisters. Through their connections, we gathered many people to help clean Mrs. Strong's house.
Although it's hard to recover the old building after the fire hazard, what can be done is to clean the interior. Gladly, most of Ms. Strong's family remained safe, so they can pass the Lunar New Year with Ms. Strong without leaving her alone.
In Taoyuan, a peach farmer Grandpa Chan's house was destroyed in a fire 2 weeks ago. Fortunately, no one was hurt during the fire. Upon learning the news, Tzu Chi volunteers went to provide aid and offer support.
The warehouse is all scorched black and the car outside has also been burned. The house beside the warehouse has also been completely burned down. A fire that happened 2 weeks ago have left Grandpa Chen homeless.
My house was a double-story wooden house, and the warehouse was made of packaging materials. Because it is a wooden house, the fire spread rapidly. In a few moments, everything was burned down.
Fortunately, when the fire broke out, both Grandpa Chen and his wife were working in the peach field. As their home is completely destroyed, their daughter also came back to help. Upon learning their situation, volunteers brought supplies and head over to care for this family.
Inside there are blankets, warm clothing, and other necessities. In their current situation, we also provide anything that they need.
Besides providing supplies, volunteers also accompanied Grandpa Chen and chat with him. Under the love provided by Tzu Chi, it is believed that he will be able to rebuild his home in the near future.
Every year, Tzu Chi's winter distribution aid is mainly food, but this year has been particularly cold. Many care recipients don't have thick bedding to keep themselves warm. For this reason, volunteers prepare warm quilts for those in need.
Grandma Lu is wearing thin clothes and her bed is near the door, where a sliding door only goes halfway. The quilt covering her body is obviously not enough to keep out the cold. Ms. Chen has been in bed for a long time. Cardboard used as the mattress makes this cold really quite difficult to bear. This bedding needs to be changed quickly. The winter season relief from Tzu Chi is usually food-based distribution, but actual visits by volunteers this year found that many old bodhisattvas have problems with improper bedding.
It's very cold this year. We give these care recipients a warm quilt to cover them.
Choosing 110 quilts that are warm but not heavy, they are distributed according to the preferences of each senior and delivered door to door. Grandma Lee, who is over 100 years old, has been accompanied by volunteers for nearly 20 years. She donates her change as a means of expressing gratitude. With guidance of his mother, the little boy, surnamed Zhang, saved a bit of money to give back to Tzu Chi for their long-term care.
I can only donate a small amount of money to give back to others.
Mr. Zhang also donated to international disaster relief as volunteers work to spread love and warmth to everyone this winter.
Unlike years past, Tzu Chi's reunion banquets with care recipients are canceled. Taipei Zhongzhen District volunteers made and delivered turnip cakes to care recipients and bring them some holiday cheer.
年糕嘛，那个萝卜糕就是好彩头，好彩头，也给案家一个过年的那种喜气的那种感觉。
Due to the pandemic this year, Tzu Chi is not hosting a reunion banquet with the care recipients. Thus, the volunteers from Zhongzhen District are making turnip cakes to give.
My back is not good, so working from morning until now, it feels like my back is about to break. Even though it's tiring, I recover after a good night's rest.
The ingredients must be just the right proportions, as well as healthy. Their packaging is also prepared with heartfelt details.
这就是一头牛嘛，明年刚好牛年啦，啊，这边还特意写个2021，啊，那就写个好彩。
This is an ox to represent the next lunar year. There is also the year 2021 and auspicious words written to pass on blessings for a smooth year to our care recipients. Some have asked if these are printed, but it's all handwritten calligraphy.
手绘的，这用那个毛笔去画的。
自己做的菜头粿，无甜的，互你过年好菜食粿好过年啦。
Inside the gift bags for the care recipients, besides the turnip cake, items given help represent peace and harmony for the new year.
祝福啦！
身体健康啦！
嘿，你要认真食哈，你食较济，伊才较会放心哦，好无？好，食较济哈，祝福呢。拜拜再吗？
Tzu Chi wishes the care recipients the best in the upcoming Lunar New Year.
COVID-19 cases in Malaysia have surged and the government ordered another lockdown. Fortunately, local volunteers can attend the year-end blessing ceremony and listen to Master Cheng Yen's teaching online via a live link.
Sitting in front of the screen and taking notes, these female volunteers overcome many challenges so they can join the Tzu Chi year-end ceremony taking place in Taiwan's Changhua.
Because I don't have a computer at home, and using a phone screen will be smaller to look at.
I'm grateful another sister has allowed us to come to her house to watch the ceremony. If I was at my house, then I wouldn't be able to listen to the Master's Dharma.
No matter if it's physical distance or the pandemic, nothing can stop the Tzu Chi volunteers from attending Master Cheng Yen's Dharma lessons.
It's a rare opportunity. It often happens once in a year. And this year, we are not able to host our own. We have seen the Master continue traveling around the island even though she may be tired. She continues so her disciples may receive the Dharma. We will make the time to attend.
When the live feed from Taiwan ended, the Malaysian volunteers stayed online to share what they took away from the ceremony.
I gave up my job in Singapore because of the pandemic and chose to stay in Johor Bahru. The Master's Jingsi aphorism says that you have to give up something to gain, but the struggle to accept the decision was really difficult.
The end of the pandemic is still a long way away. But with plenty of Dharma lessons online, volunteers are still filled with hope for a better tomorrow.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Ecuador carry out the 6th aid distribution in San Mateo, Puerto Viejo, Canoa, and Santa Ana. They deliver supplies to more than 1,500 households while sharing the belief of helping one another.
Rice, cooking oil, and many other essential supplies have been delivered to San Mateo. This is the 6th distribution Tzu Chi volunteers have conducted in the area. In 2 days, community volunteers from Manta completed the distribution to 250 households. From the ceremony to collecting donations, every little detail was diligently attended to. Over the course of 2 weeks, volunteers traveled to San Mateo, Puerto Viejo, Canoa, and Santa Ana, delivering supplies to even the remote mountain regions and the rural countryside.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for bringing food to our community.
They have helped our families by delivering food to us so that we can go on living during this difficult time.
Thank you so much, Tzu Chi, for coming here. This place has almost been forgotten. We're so thankful that you have come. Here, our roads are difficult to travel and we're short of water. There's nothing here.
More than 1,500 households have received the food supplies. Knowing that this gift of love comes from far away and is accumulated from countless contributions, they not only donated coins, some even generously shared the rice they just received with their neighbors, giving without asking any return, sharing the joy they feel in the moment.
In today's series about Tzu Chi in New York, we will meet a care recipient, Zhang Liping, who suffers from lupus. At the low point of her life, the volunteers provided companionship and care. Now she gives back in return.
I moved here from Malaysia since 1995. Since I was young and I had strength, I felt that I could do any work. As long as I can earn money and help my family, I feel fine.
Like many immigrants, Lai Peng wanted to immigrate to the United States when she was young. However, in 2012, when she was in her 50s, she faced health problems.
In the beginning, my skin felt itchy and it swelled like a cone. Sometimes it was so painful that I could not sleep. My bone even felt the pain. My foot wound was more painful than ant bites. I could not scratch it as I could not reach it.
After seeking medical attention for 1.5 years, Lai Peng was diagnosed with lupus, which could not heal. Lai Peng used up her savings on paying for the expensive medications.
Right now, these 2 medications are the most important. This medication costs more than $290.
When Lai Peng was desperate, her friend referred her case to Tzu Chi, and volunteers started accompanying her.
When I first fell ill and lost my job, I lost confidence. My friends began to stay away from me because they were afraid I would become a burden to them. Then, Tzu Chi sisters came to visit me and told me about life principles. So I felt there is still hope in life.
Volunteers provide monthly living subsidies and deliver fruit and vegetables to her, encouraging her and helping her get through the tough times. More than 10 volunteers have accompanied Lai Peng for 4 years.
The Master has taught us to walk the Bodhisattva's path and walk amongst the public to care for people. I need to harbor gratitude, respect, and love to care for all care recipients.
With Tzu Chi support, Lai Peng has found her strength and optimism. Although she suffers from mobility issues due to her illness, she still tries to take care of herself. Now she even wants to help others. At the year-end blessing ceremonies every year, Lai Peng will donate few coin banks. She also invites her friends to make donations. On this day, she's adopting 3 coin banks to continue the good work.
Tzu Chi encourages people to donate $5 a month. I thought that it's very good to donate $60 a year. When my friend heard it, he said he will make donations as well.
City volunteers have reached out to Lai Peng who face illnesses. Volunteers hope to help other immigrants like Lai Peng to stay strong despite adversities in life.
Guangdong Lantai Charity Foundation has been established for 8 years. Recently, the members from the organization arranged a trip to Jiangsu to visit Kunshan Recycling Education Station.
The spirit of Tzu Chi's volunteers have always been implemented through practical actions. There is a large vegetable field in the Kunshan Recycling Education Station to carry out organic farming without killing animals. The production of organic fertilizers from eco-friendly enzymes is an evidence of protecting the earth.
When using these orange peels to make enzymes, they will have a sweet smell.
In the recycling station, everyone is a witness.
When we reduce using 1 glass bottle, we can save the electricity used, which is equivalent to a 100-watt light bulb shining for 4 hours.
When putting recyclable sorting into actions, it is found that the required knowledge is really huge.
I used to have some thoughts and complaints that sorting of recyclables may be the work of the government, but when I carried out recycling by myself, I felt that it should be our own responsibility.
When I drank water at home, I didn't deliberately save mineral water bottles.
The Lantai Charity Foundation from Guangzhou was established in 2012. Its goal is to work for social harmony, which is similar to Tzu Chi's. Members of the foundation specially visited Jiangsu Tzu Chi Recycling Station to exchange ideas with each other and moved by volunteers' motivation.
I want to be a person with great love because I didn't understand it before. I used to pursue something relatively superficial.
In all the activities, it emphasizes on education, and this education changes people's mind, which gives us a lot of inspiration.
Bearing the same goal to do good deeds to make the power of love resonate throughout the country.
In Indonesia, a Tzu Chi volunteer, Eli Wijaja, makes good use of her kitchen waste and turns them into eco-friendly enzymes. Besides being able to use it for cleaning, the enzymes can also be used as fertilizers. Take a look.
These bottles are Eli Wijaja's treasures. Inside each bottle are leftover fruit and vegetables which have been fermenting for 3 months.
When I'm making these enzymes, I feel very happy. Besides reducing kitchen waste, it also aids in the growth of plants. It can also be used to mop the floor or for other cleaning purposes. It has a lot of benefits.
When the enzyme is used to fertilize the plants, it can improve the soil quality, enabling the plants to grow better. It can also be used for cleaning and mopping the floor. It's both natural and environmentally friendly. She also has a secret technique for the enzymes to ferment at its best.
Just like what the master said, we need to be more mindful in everything we do. We need to be grateful, have respect and love. Therefore, for every bottle, I have pasted good words on them.
By doing so, she's able to reduce the amount of rubbish, love the planet, and also enabling her life to be more healthy and happy.
Taiwan only started a brain bank at the end of 2019. Prior to this, Academia Sinica had to obtain brain tissue from other countries which are genetically different from local population. Now a temporary brain bank at NTU Medical School has become an important resource.
This brain tissue sent from the United States is sealed in paraffin.
When we need to do research, we will put the wax block in the slicer to cut a thin slice.
After sectioning and staining, the brain tissue of foreigners is the only research sample available to Academia Sinica.
We just observed the accumulation of some abnormal proteins in the brain and use this to judge whether this protein will only appear in abnormal cases.
We're currently developing a new drug in Academia Sinica that can be used to treat dementia. We hope to enter clinical trials in the future.
Dementia drugs developed by Academia Sinica have been developed from the brain tissue of Caucasian people, though whether or not this is compatible with Asian people has to be subject to many tests.
If we only use Caucasian brain slices in our research, this research will have a lot of limitations. This is why we really hope to promote the brain bank in Taiwan.
Since 1960, European and American countries have successfully built brain banks, so far with more than 150 countries establishing local brain banks. However, Taiwan did not have a brain bank until the end of 2019, which is a major step behind advanced countries. As a result, patients with brain disease in Taiwan have particularly struggled.
I eat 15 pills every morning and at noon, 2 pills, and at night 10 pills. That's a total of 27 pills. I take too much medicine and my whole body is breaking down.
Cerebellar atrophy, MND, Rett's disease, Huntington's disease, Parkinson's disease, and dementia have no specific medicines in the world, as only the symptoms can be treated and not the root cause. When he was 16 years old, cerebellar atrophy was discovered in Li Guihong, who was in the first year of high school. He had to suspend school that year, but from then on, he fought the disease for some 40 years.
My brain will be donated to let people study new drugs.
This is a brain slice made after a recent neurodegenerative disease patient donated his brain. There are clumps in the surrounding nerve tissue. This is the first time we got this kind of brain tissue and discovered starch-like deposits throughout his body, which has never been seen before in Taiwan.
If there are these local brain banks, which can provide relevant brain tissue, of course the research done will definitely be of great help to patients with the disease in Taiwan.
The establishment of a local brain bank will allow brain tissue to come from the people of Taiwan, so how to get and preserve such brains will become key to research. The brain of the donor is divided into 2 hemispheres, the left and right hemispheres. When taking the brain, the doctor will put one of the hemispheres into formaldehyde for pathological research. The other hemisphere will be stored at low temperatures.
We freeze it in at -80°C refrigerator. After the refrigerator is opened, the samples of each patient are scattered and packed into these boxes.
The 2 brain hemispheres from donors each have important applications in research projects.
Formaldehyde fixation helps preserve the appearance of brain lesions, but freezing the brain hemisphere will stop the degeneration of molecules and nerve cells.
In general, brain donations from all over Taiwan must be transported to National Taiwan University Hospital in Taipei for brain collection. Therefore, the establishment of other brain banks across the country will greatly reduce the journey time for brain collection.
We hope that in a very short period of time, Taiwan's northern, central, southern, and eastern areas will have related brain banks, making it more convenient to carry out research in the future.
Brain banks are a long-term project for future generations, much like planting trees for future descendants to enjoy the shade. Although they may be difficult to establish, one should not be afraid of going slow, as we are approaching an era of research where a cure to such illnesses may be within reach.
Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology organized a winter camp for children from rural areas to learn English. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.